Well, hello everyone. I hope you're doing really good today. I'm going to talk about something I haven't really talked about in the 4 years of me making videos, and that's a topic of why we kind of live the way that we do and the events that led up to me making the decision and the choice to live a lifestyle like this. Also wanted to mention, it's like 95 degrees out today, extremely hot. I just got off of work, but this is going to be the last hot day for the season. At least I think so. It's going to start getting down into the 50s and 60s after tomorrow. So anyway, stay tuned for the rest of the video, guys. Alright, I'm going to start this whole video out with a timeline of about 2010. That's when all this flip-flop in my life kind of happened, around 2010. And I'll tell you what the significant event was there that kind of changed everything. But before 2010, I was working for the local laborers union, Local 563, and we usually worked at power plants. I went to our training center and also got a welding certification and all that, and I was really excited to go and pursue my career at welding and make some good money at that. Something happened around April of 2010 that just flip-flopped my whole plan and made me reevaluate everything. The day before Easter, my father was going on a fishing trip with my brother. My brother was driving and he fell asleep, and they rolled the pickup and the boat that they were hauling going about 90, and my father was killed on the scene. And that really shook me up. My brother wasn't yet 18, he was a senior in high school still, he was 17. And I was set to inherit some money and some other things that kind of let me take a good amount of reflection time and a long vacation to try to figure everything out. So I inherited some money, and I stopped working at the laborers union. I bought a house with the money that I inherited, and then I proceeded to be an alcoholic. I don't know if it was me trying to cope with everything and trying to understand what was going on, but after really closely after I bought the house, I started going to the local bar, and I would go to the local bar about 11 o'clock a.m. and I would stay there until I was completely trashed. This would happen for at least 5 days a week, and I'd usually be trashed by about 4, and then my day would consist of going home and passing out and doing the same thing over. And I did that continuously, almost religiously, for about 3 years. And then something happened. Sometime around 2013, in the process of me waking up from my sleep, I was kind of at a half sleep. Just, you know, that half sleep right before you completely wake up. Well, I was kind of in that state. And then something happened that completely changed my life. I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments because I'm talking about this. But to me, this is 100% no bull, completely real. What I witnessed, or what I felt, this is how I describe it. It was like a hand made out of the brightest light that you could possibly imagine. And this light reached in to my head part, like into my third eye here is what I have found out now is what it was called. And it reached in, it grabbed me by the spine, it felt like, and it shook me like this, like it was shaking me. So like I was like this, like have you ever seen those alien movies where like they get taken up and they totally lost all control of their body and they're just kind of like this? Well, that's kind of how I felt, and I felt like jerks like this in my half sleep. I didn't know what to make of it, and I really didn't think much about it, but things started changing after that. In fact, things completely changed. I started going crazy. I didn't know where all these feelings and all these thoughts were coming from. I immediately had to reevaluate everything that I have ever learned, everything that I've ever been taught, everything that I've ever believed to be true. I had to scrap all that, and I had this hunger and this yearning to figure things out, to ask questions, to find knowledge of all these different topics, where we come from, how we got here, what's really going on with our nation, and everything that you can imagine. I started diving deep and asking questions and probing and trying to get answers. So after that hand woke me up, that's the best thing I can describe it as a ghostly spiritual hand waking me up. Now that I look back on it, I like to think that it was some kind of guiding force, some kind of guiding spirit, maybe even my father perhaps, trying to wake me up and saying, what the hell are you doing with your life? You're becoming a complete alcoholic, a wasteoid, you're not doing anything with your life. And I don't know if that waking up process, it was like a waking up process on steroids. Like I said, I had to question everything. And then I started doing research on YouTube, trying to figure out what was going on with me inside. I felt all alone. Like I had nobody to talk to about these issues, and I still don't really talk to many people about these things I'm going through. That's why I've never really talked about this stuff until recently on the Where Do I Live video. I've never really gotten into any of these type of topics. I can throw some ideas around with Kristen, but even sometimes then she kind of, it's kind of hard. If somebody was coming at me with all this stuff without having this experience, I would think that they were crazy too. So when people tell me I'm crazy, or I get that weird look from people, I kind of just brush it off. I get frustrated sometimes that I don't feel like I have people that can relate to me, but that's life for me right now, I guess, so I got to get used to it. So I started meditating a lot, meditating every day. I started reading a lot of occulted books, occulted knowledge. All the occult really means anyway is hidden. So hidden books, hidden knowledge, hidden information. And I did a lot of research on YouTube and just stuff like that to try to figure out what was going on. And it just felt natural to work on my inner spirituality. And along with that, I started questioning all these so-called societal norms, like keeping up with the Joneses type mentality. I started really questioning why I bought that house. I never really considered owning a house ever until my father died and I inherited that money. I guess I kind of felt that that's just what the normal process is, that you make money, you get a degree, and then you get the degree, and then you make the money, and then you go and you buy a house. That's what everybody's doing. So that's kind of what I went and did. I bought that house, and after like the 3 years, I just didn't feel right in it. I felt like it was overboard, like it was excess, like I didn't need this, and not only with the house, but it was the whole idea of how everybody lives. I felt like I was living in a completely inauthentic world where everybody was focused on inauthentic, trivial matters. Facebooking all the time, football all the time, you know, all these things that, you know, I was a football fan before I started having these enlightened, I don't know, awakening process type things go on with me. And I was a Chicago Bears fan. I watched them all the time. I got really mad when they lost. I don't even watch football anymore. All these type of things that I thought made me, they just started falling off. I started re-evaluating life.